Imagine you holding a glass of water. It's full, refreshing, and vital. Now imagine you have a line of thirsty people in front of you. You give a sip to the first person, a gulp to the second. By the time you reach the fifth person, the glass is bone dry, but the line stretches around the block. What do? Most of us would stop and look for a tap. But there is a specific subset of people who will start tilting the glass until it's upside down, then they'll try to squeeze moisture out of the air, and finally, they'll offer up their own blood just so the next person doesn't go thirsty. There are some people who love others more than themselves. It sounds noble, doesn't it? Like the plot of a saint's biography. But in the world of psychology, this beautiful trait often hides a complex, sometimes painful internal architecture. Let me ask this: why is it that for some, self-love feels like a foreign language while sacrifice feels like a mother tongue? To understand why someone puts themselves last, we have to look at how they were first taught to love. Love. In a healthy childhood, love is a given. It's the air you breathe. But for many who grew up to love others at their own expense, love was conditional. If you grew up taking care of a depressed parent or a chaotic household, you learned early that your value is tied to your utility. The echoist personality. We all know about narcissists, people who need all the light, but have you heard of echoists? Named after the nymph Echo, who could only repeat what others said, echoists are people who fear being a burden so much that they delete their own needs to make room for others. The neuroscience of hyperempathy. It's not just in your head, it's in your brain. Some individuals have a hyperactive mirror neuron system. When they see someone in pain, their brain processes it as if it is happening to them. If I fix your pain, my brain finally gets a break from feeling it. It's an act of mercy for two. I'm going to say something a bit provocative here, so bear with me. Loving others more than yourself isn't always an act of purity. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism. The control element. When you are the giver, you hold the power. If I am always the one helping you, I never have to be vulnerable enough to let you help me. By staying in the position of the savior, I keep a safe distance from my own mess. The fear of abandonment. For many, over-loving is an insurance policy. The subconscious thought is, if I make myself indispensable to you, if I solve every problem and anticipate every need, you will never leave me. It's not just love, it's a plea for security. The neglect of the self-object. In psychology, we talk about the self as a vessel. If you don't value the vessel, you eventually offer people tainted water. You become resentful, exhausted, and crispy, the clinical term for burnout. Let me share a story of Sarah, a nurse who works double shifts, fixes her sister's finances, and listens to her friends' problems until 2 a.m., while her own health and home life crumble. If you're listening to this and realizing you've been living your life as a footnote in everyone else's story, how do you reclaim the pen? You are not a god. You have limited emotional, physical, and financial calories. Giving what you don't have isn't charity. It's math-defying madness. A fence isn't just to keep people out. It's to show where the garden is so people don't accidentally trample the flowers. Say no to the extra task. Sit with the discomfort of someone being slightly disappointed in you. The greatest gift you can give the world is a version of yourself that is whole, rested, and respected by you. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and more importantly, you are worth a drink of water too. A man who fell in love with his own reflection. But we often forget Echo, the nymph who loved him. She was cursed to never speak her own thoughts, only to repeat the last words spoken to her. In psychology, echoism is the opposite of narcissism. While the narcissist is addicted to being special, the echoist is terrified of it. The self-identification checklist. If you're wondering if you fall into this category, look for these specific internal markers. The specialness phobia. You feel deeply uncomfortable when the spotlight is on you. If someone calls you talented or beautiful, your first instinct is to deflect, minimize, or point out someone else's contribution. You have an uncanny ability to sense the moods of others and immediately pivot your personality to them. You are a high-resolution people pleaser. You would rather walk 5 miles in the rain than ask a friend for a ride. The idea of needing something from someone else feels like a moral failing. If someone asks, "Where do you want to eat?" or "What do you want to do?" your brain often goes completely blank. You've spent so long echoing others that you've actually lost touch with your own desires. You often find yourself in relationships with high-ego people. Why? Because an echoist provides the perfect silent background for a narcissist to perform against. The science of no. slightly punchy, use of the helpful peer. Now, for those of you who relate to that checklist, I have a challenge. Think about saying no to a request this week. Just a simple, I can't do that. How does your body feel right now just thinking about it? If your heart is racing or your stomach is tight, there's a biological reason for that: the brain's internal war. When a chronic overlover tries to set a boundary, the brain undergoes a massive chemical conflict involving two main players. The amygdala, the alarm. For most, a no is just a sentence. For the echoist, the amygdala perceives no as a social threat. In our evolutionary past, being cast out of the tribe meant death. Your brain is literally screaming, if you don't help them, they will reject you and you will die in the wilderness. The anterior cingulate cortex. This part of the brain monitors social conflict. When you say no, this area lights up like a Christmas tree. It registers the social pain of disappointing someone in the same way the brain registers physical pain. When you finally say no, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. This is why you feel shaky or nauseous after standing up for yourself. Helping others usually provides a hit of dopamine, the helper's high. When you stop, you go into a withdrawal state, which feels like intense guilt. This is a maladaptive circuit. Every time you say no and the world doesn't end, you are physically rewiring your brain. You are teaching your amygdala that you can survive a moment of someone else's disappointment. Understanding that science doesn't make the guilt go away instantly, but it gives you a map. You aren't weak for feeling guilty. Your brain is just trying to protect you using an outdated manual. Next time you feel that surge of panic when you put yourself first, just tell yourself, that's just my amygdala being dramatic. I'm not in danger, I'm just growing.